Influencer Abby Chatfield has just come out in a late night rant on social media lamenting the fact that so many pro-life Australian women are popping up on her For You feed. What's going on? Well, we're going to unpack it. That's today on The Dr. Joe Show. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you are new here, please do subscribe to our channel. The more people that subscribe, the bigger our movement grows. It's clearly getting in Abby Chatfield's head that we're growing, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Thank you, James, for joining us once again. He did try to get out of it this morning, but we roped you in once more. So we're going to dive straight in. Abby Chatfield is losing it because so many pro-life young women are popping up on her For You feed. Now, for those of you who aren't on social media, aren't on Instagram or TikTok, the For You feed is really just the things that the algorithm pushes your way. Is that the right way of explaining it?
Yeah, it's just like people who you don't follow, but their videos show up on as you're scrolling through Instagram on your feed, or when you go to search for something, there's a bunch of videos, so they might show up there too.
Yeah, so they're sort of recommending them to you because they think you might like them or be interested in them. They think you'll watch them to the end and stay on that platform for longer, which is the goal, I guess, of the platforms. Now, those of you who don't know Abby Chatfield, she's a influencer, got over 1 million followers across various social media platforms, a big podcast. I think Albanese even sat down with her during the election campaign. She is actually quite a significant leftist voice in this country, but also totally loony, as you're going to see in what she says, you know. Would you say that's fair to call her loony, or is it uncharitable?
It's probably both, you know.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get started. So this is Abby Chatfield with a video that she's just posted to social media.
I'm sick and I feel like I'm coming to you from my deathbed, and these are my final words. Can we please not allow this anti-choice movement to get any more fucking steam? Jesus Christ, I've seen these freaks, these fucking freaks. Their videos all over my For You page, just spreading misinformation, just lying, just regurgitating lies that will assist in rolling back women's health legislation and our safety and increased medical misogyny, and it's all women. And I don't know why they're doing it, but I guess it's because they want attention and validation. I don't know. They want to feel like they're different. They want to feel like they aren't like other girls. It's like the ultimate pick-me thing. You are risking women's lives by doing this, and I know you're going to stitch this video saying that I'm crazy and taking it out of context. You absolute anti-choice weirdos.
We might just stop it there. It goes on and we'll get to the rest of it. But I think it's pretty funny that she says, I know you're going to stitch this up. Like she's doing, it sort of almost feels like she's doing it against her better judgment, against her advice to herself. She's saying, I know you're going to stitch it up, you're going to use it, but I have to say this, you know. And she's coming from a deathbed, poor thing, she's sick. So maybe we can put down this delusional rant to that. I don't know. But for me...
Well, you're calling it a delusion. What's delusional about it?
Well,
can you
yes.
Put that in your own words, Doctor?
That's the Dorothy Dixon if I've ever heard one. So I think it's a delusion because Abby Chatfield should know. I think she knows, right? We're popping up on a For You feed clearly. So she's clearly watching these videos to the end, because if you're just scrolling away, the algorithm will send you different videos. This is what people talk about in terms of siloed content. You know, we're only seeing the content we agree with because that's what keeps us on the platform, because it reaffirms our bias. Now, Abby's clearly watching our videos to the end. So I'm sure she knows what I'm about to say. But in a late-term abortion, for example, this is never necessary to save the life of a mother, because the process for a late-term abortion is to inject the baby with potassium chloride. That kills them in utero. It's not painless, by the way. It causes excruciating pain. And then the mother goes through labour. They induce labour early. Now, that can take up to 2 to 3 days to bring that baby out. If a mother's life is truly at risk late in pregnancy, they won't bother with that very long process because that's risking a life. They'll do an emergency cesarean and get that baby out in less than an hour. Now, there are circumstances where a mother might say...
Sorry, I just want to make a point, because you always say emergency cesarean. Well, yeah, but even if they opted against an emergency cesarean, because people might say, yeah, but maybe the cesarean is risky for that woman. Maybe she's got an issue with, like, she can't go under general anesthetic for some reason, or they use a local, don't they? Anyway, whatever. But like, they could do a natural birth too, is the point I'm making. Because what I'm saying is a late-term abortion involves a natural birth.
Yes.
But that's still also open to them.
Yeah.
The only thing that is missing is the injection, which actually also takes more time. So cesarean or natural birth, either of those is safer than a late-term abortion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the late-term abortion comes with risks from the injection of potassium chloride into the baby. If you miss the baby's left ventricle of their heart and you get the woman, she can die.
But it's also time.
It's also time.
You've got to go to a special place to get it done.
Absolutely. So if the mother's life was truly at risk, they're not pursuing this, as Abby knows because she's watching our videos in full. And we even flushed this out very clearly with a piece of legislation that completely sent the pro-abortion camp into like disarray. Do you remember that in 2024, Ben Hood's live births bill? We said after 28 weeks, you can terminate the pregnancy for any reason, but allow the mother, the baby can't be killed. The baby has to be induced alive because the mother has to give birth to this baby. It's either via an emergency cesarean or it's through labour. And there's no other way of getting the baby out. And if the mother's life is at risk, you don't do the really time-consuming one. If it's imminently at risk, and so the other scenario then people will say is, well, what about if she wants to kill herself? So Taylor Jane, who Steph Richards from the ABC, our friend Steph, she used Taylor Jane's story to say, well, women need abortions or they're going to die. And because Taylor Jane presented at 27 weeks and 6 days to a doctor and said, I'm going to kill myself unless you kill my baby.
I'm not sure she said I'm going to kill myself unless you kill my baby. I think she more just said, I don't know if I'd be alive today if I hadn't had the abortion. Yeah. So I don't know if it was a direct threat.
Yeah.
But that was, but I'm sure that does happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. And you're right. The quote that she gives is, I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't had my abortion, which is a roundabout way of saying it was either my baby or me.
Sure. But it's a retrospective kind of reflection. It doesn't necessarily I just don't want to run into just accusing her of something that she didn't do. Yeah. I don't know what that situation was. Yeah.
But presumably, given what we do know, she had an abortion for the test in the legislation is that continuing the pregnancy would cause a significant risk to the physical or mental health of the mother. And so for Taylor Jane, there was no physical health reason. So presumably the people at the Pregnancy Advisory Clinic in SA, which is really just the euphemism for the killing centre, like it's a murder centre, it's an abortion centre. Women go there to get their babies killed. Presumably the good people at the PAC said continuing this pregnancy is going to cause a significant risk to Taylor Jane's mental health.
The good people.
I was being ironic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I clearly
it's unusual for you. Yeah.
I know, I'm not dry like you, as everybody points out in the comments.
That's like when you say good people, it sounds like you're being sincere.
Were you actually confused?
Slightly.
Oh, bless. Okay, look, so we actually have it on good authority that they don't even have a psychiatrist at the PAC that are assessing these things, that Taylor Jane saw a social worker and then that was what...
Plus significant risk just could mean anything to mental and or physical health.
Yeah, and the point is, if someone's got a significant risk to their mental health and the baby is 30 seconds old, they can't request an abortion. They can't request an after-birth abortion that the baby just gets killed, right? You can't do that. We should treat a mental health illness as a mental health illness, and an abortion is not a treatment for a mental health illness.
Well, you don't allow mentally ill people to hold other people hostage and say, unless you kill this person, I'm going to kill myself. I mean, that's an unacceptable demand. Yeah, or it should be.
Absolutely. So it is delusional that this is necessary for women's safety.
I think something that is fair to say is that Abby Chatfield's concern that abortion is imminently about to be banned in Australia with no exception to save the life of the mother is insane.
Well, there isn't a single pro-life law in the world that doesn't have an exception to save the life of the mother.
Yeah, I mean, it's just completely nuts.
Yeah, but let's just take a moment, because it has been a hard week for us personally as a family. We won't talk about it today on the show, but what I take away from this, what I want to say is when this popped up, some of the girls sent it to me, some of the Barefoot girls. It was honestly, it felt like the closest thing that we can get in our movement to a award, to like a pat on the back, a congratulations, you're on the target, you're hitting it. If the first line, can we please, what does she say? Can we please not let the effing anti-choice movement get any more steam? Jesus Christ, they're all over my For You page, right? That's a compliment to our work.
Yeah. yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, she's sensing a zeitgeist shift. And so, yeah, it's been a really hard week. But when this got sent to me and I watched it, I really broke out into the first really big smile of the week, because I just thought, well, wow, like, I knew that she's watching our videos all the way through and they're getting to her, but it's also a sign of a zeitgeist shift. There's young women, which we've actively worked on raising up through Bird Flip and other things. You know, we set up Bird Flip over a year ago, and there's 6 young women speaking up, putting up daily content on abortion. But we've now got the Bird Flip Ambassador Program, 21 ambassadors from all over the country that met in Sydney a few weeks ago for intensive training. You know, this is just really exciting to see, just to see that these young women rising up. This is amazing. Like when Abby Chatfield, who is the poster girl for abortion up to birth on the left, is melting down, you know you're making progress.
Yeah, she's really throwing a tantrum. Like, she just doesn't want this to be the case, but it is, and that's awesome. And it's interesting how she uses that term misinformation, which is these days, that's just a little bit like educate. Yeah. It's just a term that is used that's kind of been divorced from its meaning. So, for example, like when someone says you need to educate yourself about like trans identities or whatever, what they really mean is you need to go away and talk to some leftists who'll tell you the correct thing to think, you know. So educate doesn't really mean what it actually means anymore. Yeah. And this is something you also notice with the term misinformation. It's not a word that actually really has any objective meaning anymore. Really, it just means they're saying things that I don't like. And that's almost always, when you hear that word, that's almost, not always, but almost always, that's really how that word is defined. But then the telling part is how rarely people actually list examples of, when they use that word misinformation, how rarely they list examples of the misinformation. Yeah. It almost never accompanies that word an actual listing of examples of misinformation that is being said and why it is misinformation. And the reason is because it's usually, that word misinformation is usually used to describe things that are true. And so they can't go and list the examples, because then people will go, oh, hang on, but that's true, and that's true. Oh, and that's true as well. You know, so for example, she would say, all this misinformation, you know, they're saying that late-term abortions happen in Australia. Late-term abortions do not happen in Australia.
She would say they account for less than 1%. Yeah,
less than 1%. But that doesn't mean that it's misinformation to say that X number occur, because 1% is still a percentage. When you're talking about a country with, you know, 25 million people, and you've got
close to 100,000 abortions a year.
You've got close to 100,000 abortions a year. 1% starts to actually look like quite a lot. So
and then they say, like her friend Hannah Ferguson said on SBS, oh, they only happen in really heartbreaking situations. But you know what's happening in the comments are following, because we've now got over 300,000 followers across these platforms. They were writing comments, like Marie Sharp, one of the beautiful ladies that follows us. I don't think I've met her personally, but she wrote a comment saying, but, you know, what do you think about the fact that abortion is legal up to birth? And then one of the pro-abortion disciples writes, well, you can only have it after 22 weeks for a very strict criteria, very strict medical circumstances. And Abby puts this exchange in her story and she says, this is what's going on, this misinformation. And she says, and then people invariably say, well, I know that babies are being killed up to birth because so-and-so told me. And really it's because I've got that data. Because until we started doing this, I don't think the general public knew, maybe pro-lifers knew, but the data on late-term abortions, we're just getting that out. You know, 25 million views every month now. We're getting this out, this information. We're using primary source data from, say, for example, South Australia, which shows that 79 healthy babies have been killed after 22 weeks and 6 days and up until birth. Their mother's life was not at risk. Now, she can't call that misinformation because it's primary source data.
Yeah. And it's not from us, it's from the government.
It's from the government.
Another thing that they'll say is, it's not legal up until birth, because after 24 weeks you need the sign off of 2 doctors. It's like, well, an abortion at any gestation, you need the sign off of 1 doctor. So how does going from 1 doctor to 2 doctors take it from being legal to illegal? That's just a completely nonsensical argument. Yeah.
All of it. Once you
that's like saying it's
yeah.
illegal to drive in Australia because you need to sit a test and get a driving license. Well, it's not illegal. There's just a process.
Yeah.
That doesn't shift it from being legal to illegal just because there's an added process.
The whole case for abortion up to birth is built on a house of cards. And it's interesting in this video, this 3.5-minute late night rant, she talks about misinformation but doesn't cite a single example, as you say.
I'm not saying pro-life. I'm not saying that, because if you were pro-life, you would care about women that die due to lack of access to healthcare.
It's almost like she's blaming us for her current condition. That's the way it feels.
Because she's sick?
Yeah. She's like, look at me, I'm on my deathbed. If you're really pro-life, you'd care about me.
I do. I feel sorry for her. She probably should not be making a video while she's so sick.
It's not the fault of our anti-abortion advocacy that she's on her deathbed here. You know, that's that she can't put that at our feet.
Yeah. Also, it's funny the title on the screen. I feel like an elder feminist the way I'm seeing this anti-choice regression happen in real time. She does look
pretty elder in that video.
So I googled it to find out how old she was. She's 30. Yeah, she's 30. So look,
looks about 130.
James, don't be so slack. I guess the thing is that's interesting about this is her ilk. When she says she's an elder feminist, she means she's a Betty Friedan feminist. She's a second wave 1960s feminist. And, you know, we've talked about this on the show before. There was a key moment in the 1960s where there was a vote on whether to have abortion up to birth, legal abortion without restriction as part of the central plank of feminism. They were deciding on a whole lot of things, and they made a decision in the 1960s at this critical meeting. It was the second annual conference of the National Organisation of Women, and they made a decision on that vote to put abortion in, to put it in as a central plank of the platform. And from there on, feminism and abortion were intertwined. And it was actually 57 women who voted for that. A third of the room walked out. I think they won by 8 to 9 votes. It was 9 votes. So there was a difference of 9 votes because the room was so fiercely divided on that point. And yet, you know, Abby Chatfield just has such a strong conviction that for women to be free and equal to men, they have to be able to have this right to kill their babies. So I think young women increasingly just don't even want anything to do with feminism. It's so toxic. It's a ideology that has led to the death of millions of children. But it's interesting that she feels just this desperation to try and impart this to younger women.
Oh, look, I don't think that there's a need for feminism anymore. I mean, I'm a little bit foggy on the roots of feminism. I'm assuming that that the movement did some good in the early days, getting the women the right to vote and whatever. Even then, it's like it's hard to throw any points to an ideology that has led to more murders than Nazism and communism combined, which is all you can really say about feminism. It's just a fact. But these days, I think there's no case for feminism to exist in modern day Australia. I mean, women have every right that a man has, with no exceptions. They actually have more rights in many occasions.
Well, for example, in my workplace, it probably is an advantage to be a woman, right? There's special scholarships and incentives and promotion opportunities that exist for us that don't exist for the men. It's quite interesting.
Yeah. But also like in family courts and whatever. I think that women, if there are still inequalities that exist, they are because women choose to do things differently to men. So, for example, they might choose not to go into STEM fields as much. They might choose to work fewer hours because they want to have babies or whatever and stay home. That's choices that women are making, and people like Abby Chatfield who insist upon enforcing the exact same outcomes for men and women. Once again, as you called her rant delusional at the start, but that is delusional to try and say, well, you women, you want to go and do nursing instead of, mathematics. Well, screw you. We're going to force, women to enter mathematics. Well, you're just acting like a psychopath now.
Yeah.
Let people do what they want. So.
And also I think with women staying home, like the government has this gender equity strategy that's really trying to force women into the workforce. They want to fund universal childcare, but they don't want to fund genuine options for women. Like they want to incentivize women to get back into the labour market as quickly as possible. But increasingly women are saying, well, I had children because I want to be there for them. I want to be around them. And so then there'll be a gender pay gap because your career progression and your pay will be less because you've taken this time out from the workforce. Yeah. That is understandable.
But also women like sometimes get paid less because they're more amicable. So they don't want to go in and fight with their boss for a pay rise, you know? Not you so much, but other women. So
I don't have that trait.
You don't. Right. But I think, anyway, long story short, I think a lot of modern younger women, not all of, there's a lot of idiots, don't get me wrong, but a lot of modern younger women are looking at these kind of like washed up old hags like this one here, Abby Chatfield, and they're just saying, that's just unattractive. Mm-hmm. I don't see any need for feminism. I intuitively just sense that I have all of the opportunities that I know that people like this say that I don't, but I do. I feel like I can choose anything that my brother can. Or
well, it's particularly egregious. I think what's really interesting is it's particularly egregious that the feminist movement now believes that a boy can be a girl, like the mainstream feminist movement is totally on the side of allowing boys into girls' spaces, girls' sports. Like then, you know, people like Abby Chatfield and Hannah Ferguson would be the first to fly the flag for the radical trans agenda. And I think young girls are just going, well, what? Like this makes no sense. So they can see it. We might keep going.
I had an abortion, you know why? Didn't feel like having a kid. That's reason enough as well. I'm sick of women having to justify the reasons why we want bodily autonomy and we want to refuse to be an incubator. I'm sick of having to have some extreme reason. I just didn't want a kid. And I've seen more and more anti-choice rhetoric and more vitriol towards me randomly.
What do you mean you're sick of having to have some extreme reason? Who's forcing you to have some extreme reason? You live in a society where abortion is legal, up to birth and on demand. You don't have to justify your abortion to anyone, Abby. I just find it interesting that she feels like she needs to keep on. I'm so sick of having to justify. Well, who are you justifying it to? Is it yourself? I think that's the question that I have. Is it you that you feel the need to justify it to? You're so proud and loud about your abortion, but then on the other hand, you're saying, I just need to justify it constantly. Who to, Abby? Who in your life do you have to constantly justify your abortion to, other than yourself? That's my question.
So you think her conscience is tweaking?
Yeah. Well, who else? Who is she talking about? Who are these people that she has to justify her abortion to? These effing freaks, like the young women she sees popping up on her. I don't think she worries about them. I don't worry about Abby. I don't feel like I need to justify. You're never going to catch me going, I'm sick of having to justify my pro-life position to people like Abby Chatfield. I feel no insecurity in my position. It's coherent. Like it doesn't feel to me to be a crazy position. It doesn't feel to me to be evil. It feels just logically coherent and morally right. So why do you feel like you need to justify it, Abby? That's my question.
I think it must be really hard for someone like Abby Chatfield who has just been brainwashed by a pro-abortion establishment. You know, the media narrative, the political and corporate culture, all of this has been on the side of abortion. And then we came onto the scene and started posting content about this. Now, at the start, do you remember it was like pulling teeth to A, get a follow, B, get a comment or a like. Like it was really, really hard. People in Australia were so scared and uncertain, even the pro-life community, of publicly backing in on social media the stuff that we were doing. Now, it over 4 years, it's gathered so much steam and momentum.
So much effing steam.
And I guess she's now coming face to face with some real hard facts about this. Like she can call it misinformation, but it's a blatant lie to say that the things that we're talking about in terms of abortion methodology are wrong. Like when she killed her baby, presumably, I don't know when it was, but if it was pre-12 weeks, it was one or two methods. It was either through a vacuum aspiration where the baby gets dismembered by a powerful vacuum and then they're coming out, or it's through taking the abortion pill regime. The first pill starves the baby, removes progesterone, and that baby doesn't have the nutrient supply to survive. They're dying slowly in utero. Like that's torturous. And then and then the second pill or the second set of pills is inducing early labor, and she's delivering her baby, often coming face to face with that dead baby, or like by 9 weeks they're the size of a strawberry. So you by 12 weeks they're fully developed. You're seeing them. So who knows what Abby was told when she went in for abortion? I've spoken to many women. You're not told the method. You're not told anything, and she's now coming face to face with it. It's no wonder her conscience is tweaking, right? Like I think that is what's going on. I just want to address the other thing here is she starts the rant off by talking about women's safety, but here we get to the real reason for her love for abortion. She actually does another video about how I love abortion. That was a few months ago. I think we triggered her at that point too.
I love abortion. And I did a video today where the sound said, I love abortion. And people in the comments were a little bit upset, saying that I shouldn't say that I love abortion. I should say that I tolerate abortion, or that I support someone's choice to have an abortion. But the reality is I love abortion.
But it's really just about, I didn't want my baby. Like that's what she says.
Yeah, well, she starts off like women are going to die, and then it's like, yeah, but you should be able to have an abortion for any reason anyway. And it's like, well, why did you even bring up women are about to die then? Why? Like, it starts to feel like that's a little bit manipulative, I'll be honest with you. Yeah. The fact that they always go, you can't ban abortion because of rape and incest. Oh, okay, well, let's just for argument's sake say that we'll have an exception for rape and incest. Yeah, but you can't ban abortion anyway because sometimes women just don't want to have a kid. It's like, well, why did you bring up rape and incest then? If you cannot brook any limitation on abortion for any reason, then why do you always go to that? Even if you know that your argument does not, that you'll still continue to support legal abortion, even if there was an exception. Like it just feels manipulative. Yeah.
Okay. Now her brain starts to break after she posts this video because all of our movement gets into the comments. And, I was still dealing with stuff this week, so I didn't, but I was so grateful that other people did. And she then starts posting to her stories, just an extraordinarily long message in response to all of this.
Goes on forever.
I know, I won't make you watch, sorry. You're getting...
The comments on that video that I posted about abortion proved my point. Go and look at them. Go and see how mainstream this has become. Go and see how misinformed these people are. It's so worrying. Go and see how they are regurgitating complete lies. And also go and see how it's a lot of men. It's really weird. I opened my comment section up to trap them and to prove my point, and look at it.
What do you mean she opened her comment section up? Did she have comments disabled?
No. She just means that she was setting a trap when she did that late night rant from a deathbed. No, the comments weren't restricted.
I opened up my comments section.
Well, maybe she sometimes restricts her comments, but on this post the comments were not restricted and you were able to write comments. Yeah. But it's interesting like how she says go look at the comments.
Well, she didn't trap them very well. Did she provide examples?
No, not a single example. Okay. And the thing is, what's interesting is she's talking about how many people are commenting from a pro-life perspective.
If I opened up my comments to trap a bunch of pro-choicers, then I would actually be using the fruits of my trap by getting their comments and then explaining how this person is, wrong or bad or whatever.
So she doesn't do that.
Right.
Yeah, well, she doesn't.
Trap failed.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Also, they've changed their rhetoric to now claim that it's anti-feminist to be pro-choice. Look at those comments. The amount of them that are saying that, so you're against femicide, but you're okay with millions of baby girls dying. That isn't very feminist, Abby. That isn't very feminist. Or they're saying like, so you're a feminist, but you can't respect my right to protest against your rights. It's like, they've twisted the whole thing. It's really odd. These people are incredibly dangerous. They aren't very intelligent. They've been brainwashed, propagandized. They aren't looking at facts. They're exaggerating things. They're making things up. They're twisting facts. They're picking and choosing. The reality is it is not feminist to be anti-choice. Like, I don't know.
I genuinely think she doesn't know how to respond to the comments that people are making. So I think what people are pointing out is that even in Australia, sex-selective abortion is rampant. Like we know there's close to 100 million girls missing worldwide because of sex-selective abortion in
but there's
India
a lot
and China.
more. There's a lot more girls missing worldwide just because of sex-selective abortion.
In what sense?
In the sense that they just got slaughtered. So there's 100,000 abortions in Australia every year. Presumably around about 50,000 of those are girls.
Yeah. Okay. So
and this is what I think. That's the main reason. That's the main point this person was trying to make.
Well, I don't think it's just one person, by the way. I think it's lots of people.
Yeah, but it's not sex-selective abortion they're going after. It's just the slaughter of girls.
But I think,
and then there's an equal size slaughter of boys. But it's not. But they're right. How can you be a feminist and just allow 50,000 girls to get killed in Australia every year?
But even more egregious is killing a girl, if you're a feminist, is killing a girl because of her gender, right? Like these people are always on their soapbox, like you can't pay a girl less, it's got to have every opportunity that a man has, so
deliberate discriminate killing as opposed to indiscriminate.
Yeah.
From their perspective would be worse.
It's
now,
not from,
I actually don't think it's worse, but yeah, you're
from
right.
Her perspective,
but
it's breaking
even,
her brain, clearly.
That's true. But even as a feminist, even if the killing is indiscriminate, well, I don't know about it. Like as a feminist, I hate saying as a feminist. Feminists are just evil and psychotic. So I wouldn't necessarily attribute any moral reasoning to them at all. I'll be honest with you. But just given the values that she purports to hold, for example, she pretends to be like pro-children in Palestine. You know what I mean? Except when it comes to indiscriminate slaughter in the womb, she has no issue with it. And so I guess I'm just saying she's a hypocrite.
Yeah, I get your point, but I think what's breaking her brain here is sex-selective abortion because people are bringing up with her.
Is that what people are discussing?
Yeah, they're bringing up the Edith Cowan study from last year. Multiple researchers from different universities, 2.1 million births studied.
So she can't even oppose sex-selective abortion?
No,
is that what you think?
That's what she can't.
She can't even be opposed to that?
Of course not. You can't derogate from a pro-abortion line.
And the pro-lifers are the unintelligent ones.
Yeah. And that study conclusively proves that in Indian and Chinese communities in New South Wales, when it gets to the third birth and the first two children have been boys, you've got the first two children have been girls. The third birth is 135 boys being born to 100 girls. Now, it should be equal. It should be roughly equal. So
I think it's like 5 more boys per 100. So 105 to 100.
Yeah, it's roughly equal. It's roughly equal is the natural occurring ratio. It's incredibly skewed once you get to the third birth if that family has 2 girls prior. If you look at European origin families or Australian-born families from a non-migrant background from Southeast Asia, the ratio is 105 to 100 even at the third and fourth birth. So there's something going on here. And for Abby Chatfield, this is extremely uncomfortable. She's on the side of killing baby girls just because they're girls. That breaks her brain. Yeah. And you can see like she's losing it. She's saying...
And presumably, if she's going to be consistent, she would be on the side of... forget about like migrant communities. Well, she wouldn't be allowed to have a problem with every single parent in Australia saying, well, I'm going to kill my infant females in the womb because I don't want a daughter. So if that just became a whole trend and everybody decided to do it, then she would not be allowed to have a problem with that either because she's pro-abortion. So being pro-abortion just means that there is no reason why a person cannot have an abortion.
And that is Abby's position. That's what she says.
Yeah.
And this is now breaking her brain because you guys are bringing it up in the comments. That's really interesting. Look at what she says next.
Like, I don't know. I can't believe how many comments in that comment section are claiming that I'm not the feminist because I believe in supporting women's right to medical care. Like, what? Like, also saying things like, oh...
I love that they're trolling her like that. She opened up the comment section to trap them apparently, but they're just trolling her.
Yeah.
It's so funny because none of those people identify as feminists. They're just totally just taunting her because she's fun to taunt. She reacts.
Yeah.
This is one thing you learn actually when you got kids. Like the children who really react to being like bullied by their siblings, they get picked on a lot more. You should not. And we have to teach them just don't react, and then your older brother won't like have a go at you. You know. Abby never learned that lesson, clearly.
Well, yeah, I think the problem is she's just been so thoroughly brainwashed. I just don't. It's like me. When we met, I was brainwashed by this feminist ideology that women need abortion. She has been brainwashed and she's never thought about it properly. She's actually had an abortion, which I'm so grateful I never had, but she actually has. And so she's even more invested in this ideology because she's done it herself. And now her conscience is tweaking. We're all over her.
She has
for
to
you
double
feed.
down on this incoherent position here. But yeah, pro-lifers are so unintelligent. They should be more like Abby Chatfield.
Yeah. So I really want to have a discussion with Abby Chatfield. I want to have a debate with Abby. I think she's so passionate about this position. I'm so passionate about my position. Let's have that debate. I've challenged her to it. We'll see whether she responds. Who knows? But I think that's where this needs to go. You know, she's made some very bold claims about misinformation. But I think for me, the takeaway of all of this is that it's working. We're working. Our movement is growing, and we're actually seeing a zeitgeist shift. You know, she made the initial video because she said, I can't believe these guys are all over my For You feed. But now her subsequent story was, I can't believe all the comments. So there's clearly something going on here in our culture. This is a significant moment. So if you are new here or are coming back and haven't subscribe to the channel, write comments, forward the videos on, and please follow Barefoot Flip on YouTube and Instagram and across the other platforms like Facebook as well, because I think that, you know, Abby's not complaining about me popping up on her For You page. She could actually deal with that. You could just then say, well, she's a far right extremist. But you can't do that about all of these other young women that are now speaking up about abortion. They can't all be loon bags. And I think that's what she's worried about.
I'm pretty sure Abby thinks they can be.
Well, she's trying to
But when you start painting the entire world as a loon bag, everyone except for you, then it starts to look a little bit, makes people wonder, well, I wonder if it actually is you.
Well, when you've got all these normal young women, like they're just really normal young women, and then she's trying to paint them as effing freaks and weirdos, but it just doesn't add up. It doesn't stack up. So I think that this is just a great victory moment. Obviously, we want full victory, which is the saving of all babies and just the removal of all of this BS in the establishment and in healthcare and all of it.
Yeah, we actually used Abby Chatfield's Instagram account to trap her.
All right. Thanks for joining, darling.
No worries.
We didn't touch the mic today because you guys are constantly bitching about that in the comments. Yeah, someone actually asked.
Don't turn on your poor.
Oh, no.
Oh,
sorry. Yeah, sorry, guys. No, I do. I love you. You're right, James. That's really harsh. No, it's just
no,
that.
they are, though.
Yeah. Well, this one was phrased really nicely. Harry's Big Shed, he said, hi, Dr. Joe and James. Again, you are very brave to have these conversations. Your banter is incredibly engaging and genuine. God bless you. May you go from strength to strength. Question, is it about time James got his own microphone? What do you think, darling? So that was a nice way of putting it. Thank you. Is it time?
I don't see the need.
Well, I reckon this is his way to have one foot out the door. So he doesn't want me to get another microphone because then you know you're a permanent part of the show. So if you want James to be a permanent part of the show, put it in the comments.
Because right now, every now and then I can say, oh, I would join you, but you've only got one mic. So I'll lose that excuse.
No, he just tries every time, no joke, guys, before we sit down to film. He says, I just don't know if I've got anything to offer today do I really need to be in this one, Joe? And then I look at you with my big brown eyes and you stay. Yeah, so thank you for that, darling. And thank you for watching That's Today on the Dr. Joe Show.